Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's class session. So yesterday we discussed about a rework work order. So today we'll discuss about non-standard work order scenario. Log into the application with our username. So navigate to manufacturing. Navigate to manufacturing. Select work execution. So navigate to go to task. So we already discussed about non-standard work order. So non-standard work order nothing but usually we are going to perform for reworks or repairs or any prototype or non-production activities, whatever we are going to do. So we will capture under non-standard work order. Non-standard work order. So navigate to manage work orders. Navigate to manage work order. So click on this drop down button. Create non-standard work order. Create non-standard work order. Again, for non-standard work order, to generate a non-standard work order is item mandatory. To generate a non-standard work order is, not item. So is components or work definition. Item means is components. So components is about item structure. Is that item structure and components mandatory or not? To perform non-standard work order, is components mandatory or not?
No, Sarath.
No.
Not
Finished good is mandatory.
Only finished good is mandatory. Of course, we are performing on against finished good. So if you say non-production activities, then what you will do? Is then why finished good is mandatory?
In case if it is rejected by the quality, then that work order is closed, then non-standard work order is the only option.
No, that's fine. My question is, so non-standard work order we will perform for repair. Yes, final assembly is required. Components if required we will pick it, or else not mandatory. So repair purpose is fine. Rework also. So final assembly is mandatory, and if requires components we will pick it, or else not required. So and as well as so we have this concept like prototype. For prototype final assembly is required, but what we can say this one components. So if required we can pick it, or else not mandatory. As well as so we say non-production activities. Am I mentioned the term yesterday? Non-production activities. So for non-production activities also we will capture under non-standard work order, but still one dummy item is required. Okay. Ideally for non-production activities item is not mandatory. So but here a dummy item is required. Okay, in e-business suite to perform non-standard work order is final assembly mandatory. In e-business suite application, to perform a non-standard work order is a finished good item is mandatory.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then is it yes? I don't think so. So someone please check it. So in e-business suite, I don't think it is a mandatory. So someone who has access to the e-business suite application, please check once and let me know, because as per my knowledge, I don't think it is required. Because in e-business suite non-standard, final assembly is optional. Only in cloud application only final assembly is mandatory, even if you are performing non-production activities. But in e-business suite, so why? So that is optional, because if non-production activities, ideally item is not required. But only in cloud application it is required. Someone please check it. Don't think it is yes. It should be the final assembly should be optional in e-business suite. Is anyone verifying that one?
So, Sarath, in my previous experience, for the wall testing, if something is happening for a testing of wall, like water pressure or anything, and that testing has been happened with the non-standard work order.
Yeah, all
And
these are non-production activities. For
right, right.
non-production
So
activities, we don't need final assembly.
but it was having that FG code, and we have to
Yeah, that's
perform.
what actually, that's what I'm saying. So in e-business, I mean, so in cloud, when it comes to this Oracle Cloud ERP cloud application, Fusion cloud application, for non-standard work order, even non-production activities also, we have to capture under some dummy item. We have to create some dummy item. But in e-business suite, actually, that is optional. So if you want to create a non-standard work order, in e-business suite, item is not mandatory.
Yeah, Sharath, I just checked. It is not mandatory. Yeah.
Sorry?
I just checked. It is not mandatory.
Yeah,
It's not.
that's what actually it is not mandatory. So even we can even try to. So if you have Oracle document link, just share it. Should be EBS discrete job versus non-standard discrete job. Standard versus this is a document. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Name required, assembly. See, okay. See here, final assembly for standard discrete job are required, correct? But for non-standard discrete job, is this required or optional?
It's option.
Optional. That means in e-business suite for non-standard work orders. So, I mean, choosing assembly or not, it's up to our decision. So, but in cloud application, it is mandatory. So even if you want to perform non-production activities also, just you have to create some dummy item. Okay. Okay guys, there's power issues, so I connected to my hotspot. So okay, so that means in e-business suite, to create non-standard work order, finished good item final assembly is optional. First point. So but again, why it make optional? Because non-standard work orders we are going to use to perform repair, rework, prototype or non-production activities. So for repair, rework or prototype, usually we are going to use so a item finished good assembly. And for non-production activities, we are not going to use final assembly. That is the reason it is optional in e-business suite. But in cloud application, it is mandatory. So you have to create a dummy item. Clear for everyone? Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Sharath. Yeah.
Sharath, this item should be a finished good or even a component?
Ideally, it should be finished good item only. Because for buy items, we are not going to make it repair. So in a manufacturing plant, either you should have a service center.
Sharath, can you hear us?
Hello? Guys?
Or finished good, Sharath?
One second, guys. I think I connected back. Yeah, please tell me.
The item should be a component or a finished good here.
It should be finished good. The final assembly, this should be final assembly only. Final assembly means it should be finished good item only. Okay? Okay.
Sharath, but you just said that assembly is not mandatory. Then
No, that's in e-business suite. That's what I said. In e-business suite, assembly is optional. in cloud application, assembly is mandatory, but if you want to perform non-production activities, you need a dummy item. That's why I asked you about EBS to tell the differences.
Okay.
Okay, but work definition concept is not there. First point. So if you want, you can use some rework work definitions, but still usually non-standard work orders, we are not going to maintain any work definition. Okay, ideally. Then work order. Why work order number is not generating automatically? So
Work order is optional. Work order number is optional, I think.
okay, work order is not like optional ideally. So what will happen is a work order number will generate from the plant parameters for standard work order, rework work order, and for transform work order also work order number will generate. But for non-standard work orders, we need to create it manually. Okay, so just I'm going to create some manually like non-standard work order some 2000. So SCP underscore, let's search the item.
So, Sharad, sometimes we hear about non-work order, work order less completion or something.
That is different, right? Work order less completion is different. Work order less completion, nothing but if you have a finished good item and without creating a work order, just manually, just we are going to start production, we are going to report transactions, we are going, report material as well as resource transactions, we are going to complete it in one go. That is work order less, which we tested yesterday. Okay.
Yeah, I was not there. Yeah, okay, Sharad. Yeah, got it.
So quantity, for how much quantity we are performing this non-standard repair or anything for one quantity. So if you want, you can choose the rework work definition or anything, but ideally non-standard work orders, we are not going to choose any work definition. Okay. So ideally we are not going to choose any work definition for non-standard work orders, but if you want, you can choose the rework work definitions or main also, but still it is not suggestible. So click on save and edit. Click on save and edit. Click on save and edit. Okay, go to operations. Go to operations. Just I'm going to add one operation to perform these non-standard activities. I'm just going to add one operation to perform this non-standard activity. So select code. Select code. Rework operation. Rework operation. Select okay. Select okay. Okay. Select save and close. Select save and close. Okay. So now we created a non-standard work order. Then what we are going to do, we are going to release this non-standard work order. So click on release. I hope everyone is able to hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then, so whatever you want to perform, there is one operation for the non-standard work order which we need to perform, and we need to complete the non-standard work order. We have to complete the non-standard work order. Just go to review dispatch list. Go to review dispatch list. Navigate to review dispatch list. So there is a non-standard work order which we have to complete. Just expand it. So if you want, you can report material transaction. Can I report material transactions? Can I report material transactions for a non-standard work order or not?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So again, what type of material transactions I can report? Material issue or material negative issue? Which one I can do?
Material issue, you can do it. Even in fact, whatever the damage that we can return it back to scrap also.
Return is fine. That means issue I can do, material issue I can do, material return I can do. Can I do material negative issue? Of course we can do. So
Yes.
for rework work order, for non-standard work order, we can perform negative issue. Correct? Correct or wrong?
Yes, 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 sir.
Only for standard work orders, we cannot perform negative issue. Only for standard work order. Even transform work order. So transform work order also we can perform negative issue, but only for standard work orders. Only for standard work orders we can perform material issue, material return, but not negative issue. Only for standard work orders. Okay. So if you want, you can report material transactions as well as you can report resource transactions. Tell me, for rework work order, by default material transactions is reported. So again, if you want, you can report few more components. What is the reason for rework work orders? By default it is reported. Tell me. For rework work orders, by default it is reported. Correct or wrong?
Because we perform a rework on already assembly item only.
That means the finished good item should issue from sub-inventory to shop floor. That is the reason by default it is going to report. Correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, but non-standard work order, if you want optionally, you can do it, or else it's not required. I'm not reporting. Just I found that some small changes is required. Just I fixed that issue, and I have completed the non-standard work order. So select save and close. So here I completed and I transferred back to the FG sub inventory. So here, for example, your client is asking that. So whenever, so one customer, I sell the item to the customer. So customer came back to me that there is some repair or some issue is there, which I have to fix and I have to transfer back to the specific customer. All these things I want to track through sales order only. Is that possible in Oracle EBS application? So I sold one item to the customer returned back to me. Then I have to repair the services. Then again I have to ship back to the customer. Everything can be tracked under single
RMA.
Yeah, RMA.
RMA,
Through RMA we can do it.
RMA. We can do it. How we are going to do that one?
I think we have in ABS depot repair concept is there, right?
Depot repair, correct. RMA return with repair also we cannot track manufacturing, but depot repair concept is there. So depot repair module will support this one in e-business suite, but in cloud applications still it is not available. Actually, the naming is depot repair. So it is a depot repair in Oracle EBS. So depot repair will support this functionality. So as well as not only depot repair, so we have one more module is there. So which is close to depot repair. So both will work. Another module is there to go with in detail tracking also. So in e-business suite, depot repair will help this, but in cloud application, so we don't have that concept so far. Okay. Okay then. So RMA return with repair also will work, helps, but it's a workaround. Okay, guys. In e-business suite, there is a RMA return with repair is a workaround, but from RMA return with repair, if you implement depot repair, then there's going to be exact tracking method. So if you don't implement depot repair and if you're using workflow as a RMA return with repair, then what will happen is usually, so the sales order point of view, we can track it, but that one we cannot track through work order scenario. So if we can if we can track through work order, then only we can say what is the additional cost incurred for us for the specific sales order. Based on that one, we can calculate the profit on the specific item or specific sales order also. So in this scenario, if you implement depot repair or else just a manual tracking only, we can do that one. Okay, there is a workaround with the return with repair, but still in cloud application, we don't have return with repair workflow. In cloud application, we don't have return with repair workflow for sales order RMA. Okay. Okay. So that means so far, what are the work orders we discussed?
Rework, non-standard.
And
Standard, non-standard, rework.
Standard, non-standard, and rework. So someone explain me about standard work order. Ideally, guys, okay, I just want to highlight one point. So I can discuss all 4 work orders in one session itself. But the reason is, if I discuss all 4 work orders in one day, people will get confused. That is the only reason I'm taking time to explain each and every step multiple times and explaining only one work order for one day. Okay, if I can explain, because simply in 1 hour I can explain 4 work orders and I can close this. But the only reason, just I ensure that you people are following and you are getting without any confusions. Okay, so someone please explain me standard work order. I think Vaishali, you are starting, right?
Standard work order, it requires work definition and the list of standard.
That's okay. What are the required prerequisites? Different. What is standard work order?
Standard work order, we need a finished good. What is the finished good? We are going to get it. That we need, and we need the work definition.
We need work area, work center.
That inclusive of work area and work.
Standard work order means in simple terms. So, to standard work order is a execution process or production process to manufacture a item or finished good item for the first time. Not first time, it's a standard production process to manufacture a finished good final assembly. I mean, again, what are the prerequisites you have to go with to manufacture standard work order? We need item structure, work definition. Again, for work definition, it requires resources, work center, and standard operation. Work center is going, again, it is going to exist in some location. For that reason, we have to define work areas. That means, so prerequisites means you have to mention item structure is required, production resources, work center is required. So to define work center, work area is required. Then we have to assign resources and work area to work center, and we have to associate work center to the standard operations. That means you need to define standard operations. Then finally, we can define a work definition. Okay, what is work definition? Someone explain me what is work definition. Or routing.
Nothing but routing.
Yeah, definition or routing. What it means?
Routing means it includes
yeah. Go ahead. It is a manufacturing process.
It is time taken to make the item.
Sorry.
It's
a process. The process for making the finished good.
The process to manufacture the finished good item. In simple terminology. Okay. A process to manufacture the finished good item. Then, what is item structure?
Item structure is the list of components that comprises of the finished good.
List of components and their quantities required to manufacture a finished good item. What is intended BOM or intended item structure?
Intended BOM is it consists of the BOM hierarchy, BOM structure.
BOM hierarchy. Correct. That means the level tree structure. it will show in a tree structure. Okay, so that's fine. Then tell me, what is operation sequence and item sequence combination?
Operation sequence is the standard list of operations, which is for the process, systematic process for the finished good, which
Okay.
involves the resources
Okay.
against the operations.
What is combination of operation sequence plus item sequence? What it means?
Combination of
Operation sequence plus item sequence. What it means?
what it means for each and every operation, the relevant item to be associated with that operation is called combination. That is a drop and drag. You have done it.
Yeah, we done drop and drag, but I mean, again, rather than drag and drop, we can click on right click and actions, and like that we can associate. Again, item sequence in the operation sequence means one by one items. Which one we have to assemble first, which one we have to assemble later is it item sequence in the operation, correct? Again, in that item sequence is there, right? So for a operation, we are dragging and dropping all the components. But again, those components, which one we have to assemble first, which one we have to assemble later, is the item sequence in that operation.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. What is a rework work order?
A dedicated task carried out on a finished assembly.
It's
Yes.
not like dedicated task. What we can say in interview point of view, guys, whatever I'm explaining is kind of interview point of view. So rework work order, nothing but you have to explain in a simple way. So any finished good item which is already manufactured, which requires a rework, dedicated rework operation, then we will perform a rework work order. Same thing even you can achieve through non-standard work order also. Just add this point. Then what is non-standard work order?
Non-standard work order is again, it is more or less like a rework work order only.
Is that only for rework work order? Rework nothing but rework work order which we are going to use for dedicatedly for rework. Non-standard work order we will use for repair, rework, prototype or non-production activities also. Okay.
Oh, non-production activity. Yeah.
All four will come into the picture for non-standard work order. Okay. Okay, guys, only manufacturing I will do this kind of spoon feeding stuff. Okay, from procurement onwards, I'm not going to explain this many times. As when I called everyone, most of the people I called offline. So before starting manufacturing, most of the people told me that they didn't work in manufacturing. That is the reason I'm taking this much time. But from procurement onwards, so it's like, I mean, so just regular sessions only. We're not going to explain this much detail, guys. Okay. Because if I have to explain like this, the batch will close like February or March. Okay. That's not going to happen, right? Okay. I mean, I thought of closing by 8:30. Okay, any questions? Tomorrow we'll complete transform work order and tomorrow we'll discuss on quality checks. Then again, we have to discuss about how to, I mean, pick the material and all those things. One by one we'll discuss. Okay. So today I'm going to, I thought of closing by 8:30. Okay, any questions? Anyone have any questions? Anyone try to close one work order at least? Or anyone practice at least one standard work order?
Yes, sir. We completed.
Okay. Okay then. Okay guys, then see you. Okay guys, then see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll complete the transform work order and we'll test one inspection. So far we included testing operation. Rather than testing operation, we'll include quality checks. Then tomorrow we'll complete a transform work order and we'll define some quality setups. So because manufacturing will work all together, like so item structure, work definition, work execution, quality, costing, all modules will work together. So tomorrow we'll discuss some quality. Okay. So okay guys, see you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye for now.
Yeah, thank you, sir.